Dear soul, the angels are drawing close to you today with great gentleness, surrounding your energy with divine compassion. They are here to help you understand something that has long been hidden beneath the surface. Heaven knows that your heart has carried pain that words have never fully expressed. The angels whisper that this message is not just about what was revealed last night. It is about what has been unfolding over many years, quietly shaping your journey, refining your strength, and preparing your spirit for divine recognition. You have wondered if others truly used your smile to manipulate people. You have asked if the truth about that finally came to light. And heaven says, yes, it did. What was hidden has been uncovered. What was twisted is now being straightened. The truth, long buried under misunderstanding and manipulation, is rising like the morning sun after a long night. But this revelation is not just about others. It is also about the healing of your own soul. Dear one, your smile was never a mask. It was a light, a sacred expression of your resilience, your courage, and your will to keep faith, even when life tested you. Yet some people, blinded by their own fears and insecurities, took that light and tried to turn it into something it was never meant to be. They used your kindness to serve their ego, your silence as permission, your generosity as a means to take without giving. They saw your patience and mistook it for weakness. They saw your softness and thought it was Naveed. And though they may have used your image or your energy to win the favor of others, heaven has always known the truth behind your intentions. For a long time, you carried that burden quietly. You smiled even when your heart was breaking, hoping that somehow your sincerity would speak louder than rumors or misjudgment. You hoped that those around you would one day see that your smile was never manipulation. It was grace. But instead of recognition, you were often met with silence. People looked at you and assumed your peace meant you were untouched by pain. They thought your calmness meant you didn't need care. But inside, you were often struggling to breathe through the weight of disappointment, betrayal, and loneliness. And yet, dear one, you never turned bitter. You didn't allow what others did to define you. You remained gentle even when the world became sharp. You continued to love, even when love wasn't returned. You held space for others' healing, even while your own wounds were still bleeding. This is why the angels say you are deeply beloved in heaven's eyes, because you chose light when it would have been easier to harden into darkness. The angels have seen how your spirit was tested by people who misunderstood you. They saw the moments when others used your warmth as a tool to make themselves look better, and how they painted false pictures of you to protect their own image. You may have felt invisible at times, unseen for who you truly were. You may have wondered why your name was brought up in ways that didn't match your heart. And now heaven reveals that those distortions are finally being dissolved. Last night, a spiritual mirror was placed before many hearts. The truth that people once avoided has begun to reflect back at them. The same smile they used as a mask for their own motives is now haunting them with realization. They are remembering how pure your intentions were, how you gave without expecting anything in return, how your light only ever wanted to bring peace. Heaven says that the ones who misused your image are sitting in silence now, confronted by what they have done. They may not admit it openly, but their hearts are being stirred. The divine has begun to correct the story. This is not your burden to carry anymore. You do not need to chase explanations, defend yourself, or relive the past. The truth has already begun to speak for you. Those who once doubted your goodness are now doubting their own choices. What was done in the dark is being exposed by divine light. And this exposure is not about revenge. It is about restoration. It is heaven saying, enough. My child's name will no longer be used in falsehood. My child's heart will no longer be treated as disposable. The angels say that the years when you walked alone were not wasted. They were sacred seasons of preparation. Every time you cried in silence, the divine collected your tears as prayers. Every time you felt misunderstood, heaven recorded that moment as testimony. Every time you forgave without apology, you built spiritual strength that is now your armor. You were never abandoned. You were being refined. And now, you are being lifted into a season where you will no longer have to beg for recognition or love. You are entering a time where your kindness will be met with sincerity, where your smile will be honored as truth, not twisted into deceit. The people who could not value your light are being moved out of your path, and those who are meant for your divine future are being prepared to see you as heaven sees you, pure, radiant, whole. Dear child, you are stepping into your divine return. The energy that once surrounded you with rejection and emotional scarcity is shifting. What was taken from you by man is being restored by God. You will not need to chase love anymore. It will come to you naturally, drawn by the frequency of your healed heart. You are no longer required to shrink yourself to be accepted. You are free now to live fully in your truth. But the angels also speak gently about your grief. They remind you that it's okay to still feel sorrow. For too long, you were told to move on. Before your soul was ready, you smiled through pain not because you were healed, but because you were trying to survive. Heaven honors that. Your angels have watched you hold your composure in public while your heart ached in private. They have sat beside you through sleepless nights, through moments when memories replayed and forgiveness felt impossible. They want you to know that your grief is sacred. It is not weakness. It is evidence of your capacity to love deeply. There were people who mocked your light because they didn't understand it. They mistook your calmness for indifference. They couldn't imagine that someone could smile out of faith rather than pretense. But heaven saw that your smile was born not from ease, but from survival. You smiled because your soul refused to give up. You smiled because you still believed in goodness, even when you had every reason not to. Dear one, the truth that came out last night, whether spoken aloud or felt energetically, was heaven's way of balancing the scales. What was distorted is being corrected. People who once misused your image are being shown the impact of their choices. But your role is not to watch their downfall. Your role is to rise, to step into your power without resentment, to walk away from the need to prove anything to anyone. The divine is saying, you do not have to explain your heart anymore. The truth has already done that for you. The angels say this was never punishment. It was preparation. You were being led through these trials to learn discernment, to understand who deserves your energy and who doesn't. You were being shaped into someone who no longer seeks validation from the outside world, but from divine truth within. The rejection you experienced was redirection. The betrayal you endured was purification, and the isolation you felt was protection. Now, the divine door that once shut you out is opening. You are being guided into a new space, one of abundance, love, and clarity. Here, your smile will no longer be misread. It will be celebrated. Your kindness will no longer be used. It will be reciprocated. And your truth will no longer be silenced. It will be seen. The angels are clearing the path ahead of you, ensuring that what's coming into your life will not mirror the pain of the past. Dear child, you have been misunderstood by many, but you have always been fully known by God. You are not the story others told about you. You are the truth that endures. You are not defined by what they took, but by what you refuse to lose: your light, your compassion, your faith. Those qualities are your divine signature, and they are what heaven is now magnifying. This next season is your restoration. Expect relationships that honor your energy. Expect opportunities that reflect your integrity. Expect peace that replaces confusion. The light that others tried to use for their own gain is now guiding your blessings home. Every act of kindness you gave without return is becoming a seed of abundance. Every silent tear is becoming water for your spiritual garden. Your angels are wrapping you in warmth right now. Feel that gentle reassurance. They are saying, "You made it. You did not let pain define you. You did not let cruelty harden you. And because of that, you are stepping into divine favor." The people who doubted you will soon see that your light was never temporary. It was eternal. There will come a moment soon when you'll realize that you don't feel the same heaviness anymore. You will notice that the ache in your chest has turned into calm. You will smile again, not the survival smile you used to wear, but a peaceful, genuine one that comes from healing. The world will see it, and they will feel the difference, because your smile will no longer be armor. It will be freedom. Dear soul, let this truth settle deep within you. What they tried to use against you has become your testimony. What they mocked in you has become your protection. What they misunderstood has become your power. The same smile they tried to manipulate has now become the very sign of your victory. The angels celebrate your strength. They say, "You did not lose. You evolved. You are not the victim of what happened. You are the vessel of divine transformation." And now, the universe is responding to your faith. The truth is unfolding in your favor. Justice is being done, not through vengeance, but through illumination. Everyone will see your light, not as rumor, but as revelation. So lift your head, beloved. You are no longer walking through shadow. You are walking in the sunrise of your destiny. The truth that came out was not to hurt you. It was to free you. Heaven is placing your name in rooms where honor replaces gossip, where respect replaces judgment, and where divine justice restores all that was taken. Let the past fall away like old leaves. It has served its purpose. Let your grief flow, but do not drown in it. You are being reborn into a reality where love is safe, joy is natural, and peace is your foundation. Smile again, dear one, not because you have to, but because you finally can. Smile because your soul has remembered its strength. Smile because the angels are proud of you. Smile because the truth, after all this time, has set you free. Type Amen if your heart feels this truth. You are not what they said you were. You are what God always knew you were. Pure light, divine resilience, sacred truth. And from this day forward, your smile will no longer hide pain. It will radiate victory, the quiet strength that heaven honors. Dear child, heaven has been watching you with deep compassion. The divine has seen the quiet kind of strength that often goes unnoticed in this world. Not the kind that shouts, demands, or competes, but the silent, steady strength of a soul that keeps choosing love even when surrounded by misunderstanding. You have carried pain that most would not have survived. You have faced betrayal, rejection, and emotional manipulation, and yet you never let these things harden you. You continued to show kindness when it wasn't returned, and you held peace even when chaos surrounded you. That, beloved one, is real power, the kind that angels bow to. You have been through storms that tried to break your spirit. People looked at your calmness and thought it meant you were unbothered. They saw your smile and assumed life was easy for you. They mistook your silence for weakness and your softness for submission. They did not understand that behind that smile was a warrior, one who is quietly holding herself together while carrying the weight of the world. Your angels want you to know that heaven never confused your gentleness with fragility. They saw every tear you swallowed, every night you stayed strong for others, every time you chose peace instead of proving yourself. Now, the divine is beginning to lift you into a new light. What happened recently? The truth that came to light, the sudden shift in energy, or that realization that changed everything, was not an accident. It was divine justice beginning to unfold. The time has come for you to be seen for who you really are. All the lies, half-truths, and false images others tried to create about you are crumbling. The people who once relied on your silence to protect their stories will now have to face the truth of what they've done. You do not have to do anything but stand in your truth. You are not being lifted to shame anyone, but to restore divine order. For so long, you kept quiet not because you were afraid, but because you were wise. You understood that truth does not need to be forced. It reveals itself in divine timing, and that time has arrived. The divine is showing everyone the power of a heart that remained pure in the face of betrayal. You did not fight back with cruelty. You did not become bitter. You chose to heal. And now heaven is rewarding that sacred strength. The true meaning of your smile. Your smile has been misunderstood. Some used it as a mask to hide their own insecurities. Some wore it like a borrowed light to make themselves look kind when you were the one radiating love. Yet, through all this, your smile remained a reflection of hope, a sign that even in darkness, you refuse to let your light die. Your angels say your smile is no longer a disguise. It has become a symbol of survival. It tells the story of how you kept shining after being misused, how you turned your pain into compassion, and how your gentleness outlasted every attempt to break you. Those who once twisted your kindness are beginning to feel the weight of their actions, not because heaven seeks revenge, but because truth always brings balance. The energy they sent out is returning to them. The same silence they forced upon you is echoing back into their own lives. But this is not your burden to carry. It is not your role to watch their downfall or seek validation. Your role now is to rise in peace, in confidence, and in grace. You are being asked to walk forward, not to prove anything, but to live freely, knowing the truth already speaks louder than words ever could. Every soul has its own lessons. Those who misused your energy are now facing their own. They are realizing that the light they took for granted was never theirs to keep. You were not replaceable. You were not weak. You were the calm in their chaos, the love they could not understand, the mirror that showed them what authenticity looks like. And now that you have stepped away, they are left to see themselves without your reflection. The healing of being seen. Heaven wants you to feel what it means to be truly seen. For too long, you were surrounded by people who looked at you but didn't see you. They saw what they wanted, someone they could use, control, or shape to their liking. They ignored the depth of your soul. They misread your compassion as obedience. But those days are ending. The truth is unfolding so that your energy can finally be recognized for what it is: sacred, healing, and real. Your angels remind you that your strength was never meant to be loud. It was meant to be lasting. You carried love even when it wasn't returned. And that act alone has placed divine favor upon your life. Everything that was taken from you, your peace, your reputation, your emotional safety, is being restored. The truth that was hidden is surfacing not to bring drama, but to bring freedom. It is freeing your heart from false guilt, freeing your name from misunderstanding, and freeing your spirit from the shadows that others cast upon you. So breathe now, dear one. Let go of the past. The divine has seen your endurance and is preparing blessings that match your depth. You are being moved from a season of proving your worth into a season of being recognized. The right people will now find you, people who understand you without needing explanations, who value your love without conditions, who will not take from you to feed their own emptiness, but will walk beside you with equality, respect, and truth. The turning of divine justice. The angels are clear. What came to light recently was the start of divine justice. The lies that once dimmed your image are dissolving. Those who manipulated the truth are losing their grip, not because you fought them, but because truth always rises on its own. The energy that once felt heavy and unfair is being cleared. Heaven is replacing confusion with clarity, pain with peace, and sorrow with understanding. You are stepping into a new season of calm, not the false calm that comes from silence and suppression, but the deep peace that comes from knowing your soul is finally free. You don't need to explain your story anymore. The truth will carry itself. The people who once doubted you are starting to see things clearly, and even if they never apologize, even if they stay silent, you can rest knowing that you no longer carry the burden of their choices. The divine sees how much you sacrificed to keep harmony. You stayed kind when you could have become hard. You stayed patient when others tested your limits. You stayed gentle when others threw sharp words. That was not weakness. That was spiritual strength. You held yourself in grace when it would have been easier to break down or retaliate. And because of that, heaven is now blessing you in ways that will surprise you. The return of peace and power. Your angels say this next phase of your life is about peace, not the fragile kind that depends on others' behavior, but the strong kind that grows from within. You have learned what false peace looks like. You've learned how it feels to smile while hiding pain. Now you will know what real peace feels like. The kind where you don't have to shrink or pretend. This peace will allow you to live fully. You'll no longer have to give away your energy to keep others comfortable. You'll no longer carry guilt for setting boundaries. You'll no longer confuse kindness with self-sacrifice. You will learn that saying no can be an act of love for yourself and for your growth. And as you rise into this new chapter, your angels are sending you people who reflect your healing, souls who will see your smile and understand the story behind it, who will respect your sensitivity instead of using it, who will cherish your empathy instead of draining it. These people will come not to fix you, but to grow with you. They will love you from truth, not illusion. The gift of clarity. Heaven is also saying that you are being given clarity about who you are, what you deserve, and what your true purpose is. You will start to see why certain relationships faded, why certain doors closed, and why you had to walk certain paths alone. None of it was punishment. It was preparation. You needed to see the difference between love that takes and love that gives. Those who once misused your heart were simply mirrors showing you what not to accept anymore. They taught you where your boundaries needed to be. They revealed your strength to yourself. And now, you are ready to build connections that are honest, grounded, and mutual. You will not have to guess where you stand. You will not have to prove your worth. You will simply be, and your energy will attract what is real. Your angels say, the story others told about you is not your story. The labels they tried to give you were projections of their own fear. The real story is the one heaven has been writing quietly behind the scenes. A story of courage, endurance, compassion, and truth. And now, that story is becoming visible. The divine is turning your scars into symbols of wisdom and your pain into portals of power. A new foundation of light, You are being planted in better soil. The old ground, where you had to fight to be seen, where your love was taken for granted, where you were misunderstood, is no longer your home. The divine has uprooted you, not to cause more pain, but to replant you where you can truly grow. This new foundation will support you in ways you have never known before. You will feel peace in your body again. You will trust your intuition again. You will believe in your worth again. The anxiety that once made you question your path will begin to fade. You will realize that what once felt like loss was actually protection. Every person who left, every truth that hurt, every silence that broke your heart, it was all leading you here, to this clarity, to this freedom, to this rise. Heaven is saying, you will no longer need to chase love. Love will meet you where you are. You will no longer need to prove your loyalty. Those who are meant for you will see it immediately. You will no longer need to hide your light to make others feel safe. You are meant to shine now, the crown of grace. And now, dear child, as you stand at this turning point, your angels place an invisible crown upon your head, a crown not made of pride, but of grace. You are being honored not because you were perfect, but because you were faithful to your spirit. You are being celebrated in heaven for choosing love when you had every reason to give up on it. This crown represents your journey, the countless times you smiled through tears, the nights you prayed for strength, the mornings you rose when you didn't want to. It is the symbol of a soul who did not let pain define them. You have grown wiser, softer, and stronger all at once. You are no longer the same person who entered the storm. You are the calm that came after it. You are the clarity that pain could not destroy. And now, the world will begin to see the light that heaven has always known was yours. So walk forward now, not with fear, but with quiet confidence. Your angels are walking beside you. Every step you take now leads you toward joy, peace, and recognition. The truth that once hurt you will now heal you. The people who once misunderstood you will now remember your name with respect, and the love you once gave away freely will return multiplied, pure, and lasting. This is your time. This is your rise. Heaven is not just watching you, it is walking with you. Type amen if your heart is ready to step into this truth, because, dear one, your story is no longer about surviving the pain. It's about living the peace that your strength has created.